Let me just share with the whole group. Start the watch party. Thank you very much. Thanks for tuning in. On time, 2 o'clock, we will start. Now today, most of the questions, I would say today's theme is still land law. Okay, I changed the question a little bit here and there. Basically, this is meant for revision. So there are two components, two parts to this quiz show. Number one, of course, is true or false. There's only one answer, one true answer. So I will also explain the wrong option and followed by multiple choice questions. Again, this week, we only have one correct answer and I will explain the wrong options. So let's quickly start this quiz show with a short prayer. So Father Lord, we just pray that your spirit will be here with us to help us pick the right option. And for those who are taking exam, I pray that they will pass at one go. For those who are transacting deals, I pray that you give them open doors, open heaven everywhere they go. Everything they touch will turn to gold. So I pray all this in Jesus' name, amen. Let's start. True or false? First question. Personal interests on land can be protected by a caveat. Let me pull out the poll.
Personal interest.
And let's vote. Personal interest on land. All right, so I do not know how many people are right now watching live on Facebook, but in the interest of time, I will just end the poll now, share the poll results, and then give you the answer. It's quite tricky, this question. So it's false. It's false. Now let me explain. An interest in land, let's say is a personal interest. A personal interest in land is not proprietary in nature. What is the meaning of proprietary? Now, a personal interest in land is a personal interest. Now, a proprietary interest in land, that means this person has a land right and not a personal right. So it's very different. So for example, license to use land, no matter how big the license is, it can be a temporary occupation license. You can be having a MRT work site, which is on state license, but you cannot lodge caveat to protect your work site, your work site office, your work site canteen. And I think we have bigger examples of license, I think last week. So let's move to the second question. A real estate can only be transferred to another party or person through a valid contract. So let's again pull out the quiz for you to vote. Let's vote now. All this all very tricky because you really got to be very clear with your conceptual understanding before you can get the correct answer. So again, like I say, in the interest of time, let me just end the poll and show you the poll result. So let me explain the answer. Again, the answer is false. Let me explain. Example, a gift of real estate is not passed through a valid contract between the donor and the donee. The donor is the person who gives the property. The donee, of course, is the beneficiary of the gift. Now, another example, the resulting trust and the constructive trust are not court's declaration. So there is no contract involved. So, okay, I think the last revision we had with a smaller group. Previous week, we have a very big group. 2 weeks, we have a very big group. Last week, we have a very small group because I think the exam was yesterday, today. So that's why the revision, I don't think people want to study already. Now, so what happened was that we have a smaller group. We have a smaller group, and then we have a more interactive revision. I get everybody to type in into the chat. I say, okay, each one just type one. How many ways are there for a property owner to transfer his right to another person? So of course, give is one, trust is one. Now give, you have give during your lifetime, so there will be give inter vivos. Now you have give after that. That's called will through the operation of a will, and then you have granting a lease, granting a tenancy. You have sale and purchase, sale and purchase. So so at the end of the day, we managed to piece together the different ways of transferring property rights from one party to another party. So so we had a very meaningful revision there. So you see a gift, will, trust, all these you no need contract. You no need contract. Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. So okay, now third question: the right to put a container office in a construction site does not come under the definition of land right. Okay, so I accidentally show you the answer, but that doesn't matter. You will still have to know how to explain the answer. This one is debatable, lah. Some of you will say, "Oh, what if I buy the construction site?" Now, so this one, okay, this one. Let me end the poll. Now, this question, you have to read the question in relation to what I said earlier. So this is okay. Wait, let me show you the answer. This is true. All right, because factory or construction site. So we are talking in terms of temporary, what I call it, TOL, or temporary occupation license. So this is in relation to the worksite examples that I used just now and last week. So now just refresh your memory. Last week I mentioned about F1. Now F1 is supposed to be today, you know, but this year we didn't have F1. So now F1, all the spectator stands that can house 200,000 people. And then after that, the worksite office, the container where the reporters will work and all that. So they are all sitting on government land or state land, and then the marina land, then the reservoir land and all that, because the night race actually cover quite a huge area of our downtown. So okay, so all those are temporary occupation license. So once you hear the word license, it is not a land right anymore. Okay, it's personal right, personal right. So that's why in that relation, then this question is true. It is not a land right, whereas it is a personal right to use land. So there's a bit of difference, a bit of difference there. Land right and personal right to use land. So it is also called temporary occupation license. So for private land, it's simply just called a license lah. Okay, so that's why I use the term construction site instead of a factory, for example. So because let's see, in a factory, they also haul in a container, and then after that they start to have the work site office there. Question 4: all land interests must be registered in the land titles office, otherwise the rights will not be valid. Tricky question again today. Oh sorry. I keep reviewing the answer, but don't worry. Okay, don't be disappointed. So it's still, you know, the most important part is to explain why it is false, why it is true. Okay, let's vote. Okay, never mind. You already saw the answer. You just help me to put in the answer. All right, thank you very much. Anyway, in our recording, you can't see the poll. For some reason, I think those people watching on Facebook also, they can't see the poll. So that's why it doesn't matter how many of you voted. Okay, let me give you the answer. False. Okay, interesting. Let me read the question again. This is very tricky. All land interests must be registered in the land titles office, otherwise the rights will not be valid. Okay, let me explain. Now, there are land interests that cannot be registered. For example, beneficiary of a trust, equitable mortgage or mortgages, builders' liens. Now, if you have followed me from the day you start your RES class all the way until we have our tutorial at condos, at your condo. I mean, we went to Jerry's condo a few times, and then after that on Zoom and all that. I tell you, you won't have problem passing the exam, you know, because why? To talk about beneficiary of a trust, to talk about equitable mortgage, to talk about builder's lien, these are all not straightforward explanation. So in class, there's no way any lecturer can say, okay, never mind, I set aside 15 minutes, okay, to explain this, let you ask questions. No way. That's why for me, I dare to say that with some students, I have spent more than 100 hours explaining to them again and again. All right, so all this kind of land interest is called proprietary interest. Is still valid and protected by caveat. And some of it, such as builder's lien, for example, will never be a legal interest. Beneficiary of a trust, some of the beneficiary will never be the owner. So illegal interests, even after registration, on the other hand, illegal interests, even after registration, will still not be validated. For example, a constructive trust that was the title was obtained unlawfully, so you register also no use, because why? The victim can go to court and get the court to declare a constructive trust. Now I must be now very careful with my fingers. For the past two questions, I don't know what I touch. Then it just show you the answer. Question 5: the mortgagor is entitled to the right of reversion. Now I shall not explain to you who is mortgagor, mortgagee. So now let's just do the poll first. Let's vote. Okay, those who are watching on Facebook Live, you can also vote. You can also text in the answer. Just for fun, just for fun. Okay, let me end the poll and share the results. All right, so thank you very much. Now let me explain. The mortgagor. Who is the mortgagor? Now sometimes, suddenly, after a while, you get confused. Say, who is the mortgagee? Who is the mortgagor? Mortgagor is the owner. Mortgagee is the bank. Now, that will be the time when the mortgage is fully redeemed or fully settled, and the title is reverted to the property owner. Now, I think last week I explained the old mortgage system, where when I say old means before 1925. Now, old mortgage system means what? If you mortgage your title in exchange for a loan in the past, before 1925, the lender, capital lender, became the owner. And then you got to spend the next 30 to 40 years trying to redeem back your title. Now, so today, even though the capital lender will not become the owner, they just put a charge, first charge, second charge, and all that. They just put a charge on your property. So, but symbolically, they will just hold on to your title. So now, 2 years from now, SLA is going to issue electronic titles. So I believe then they will put a kind of a password lah. So I believe the mortgagee will then be able to lock your access to your e-certificate. I believe they will be using kind of a lock, a password, that kind of system. So after you redeem, after that you redeem your mortgage, then they will free up the lock for you. So, but as we are talking, it is still, they are locking up your physical title. Okay, just in case you need this kind of visual. Okay, now usually I don't answer questions, but today, because there are not many people, so I answer question. Now for trust, the trustee need not be below 21 years old and all that. There are different kind of trust and trust company or legal arrangement. A trust is called a legal arrangement. So like for example, you have shopping center trust, you have office building trust and all that. So all those trusts, they are a company set up just to become the owner, okay, of that group of property. So then there's no persons involved because it's a legal arrangement. Now, so from day-to-day example of a trust that the agents will come across will be guardian. That means parents pass away when the children are teenage, below 21 and all that. So then the trust will be set up. And so you're referring to that kind of trust where the beneficiaries are below 21. So when they become 21, come of age, when they are of age, then they will become the legal owner. So that is one type of trust. But for the commercial trust, business trust, real estate investment trust, the trustee will never be the beneficiary will never be the legal owner ever. Okay, so I think that's why when I say this, it confuses you. So my apology. All right, there are different types of trust. Question 6. The expression against the world at large refers to the exclusive ownership of land. Let me pull out the question for you to vote. All right, let's vote. Against the world at large. Okay, let's end the poll. Let's show you. Okay, now we have a tie here, 50-50. All right, let me explain the answer. It's true. Against the world at large means you're the exclusive owner. Only one party can possess the land right now. Say, for example, you are the landlord, I'm the tenant. Now I have the right against the world at large, including the landlord. So the landlord become not the current owner. The landlord just holds the reversionary right. Of course, tenant is not the owner. Tenant is just an occupier. But he right now possesses the right of possession. Now, this concept is related to indivisibility of land. Indivisibility of land, meaning only one party can have the exclusive right to the land against the world at large. So when you have undivided share, then it's a different thing. Okay, it's just that you own some shares in land. Now, the exclusivity of the ownership of the real estate gives the owner the right to fence up, to lock up. So the symbol is the lock and key. Symbol is lock and key. Let's now do 7. The joint tenancy mode of holding a property refers to the owner holding equal shares to the property. This is tricky question. Tricky. So now let me pull out the poll question for you. And let's vote.
Sure.
All right, let's end the poll. Let me show you. Okay. All of you right now on my Zoom are very well trained already. Yes, you got the right answer. Now it's not equal share or it's not 50-50. Now joint tenancy means two or more parties holding right to the property as though they are one party against the world at large. So the two become one, right? Okay, so the two become one. So you know what I mean. All right, let's do the last question on our true or false segment. All covenants that are capable of being passed to bind a successor in title are proprietary in nature. Now, before you do this question, let me tell you, this is highly risky, not risky, highly tricky, is to catch those people who just blindly read, never really have a full understanding, a conceptual understanding of the topic. So now let me pull out the poll question for you. And let's vote. For those on the Facebook live, you can't see the poll questions. Our participants are trying the poll. They are now clicking. So okay, one more. Then we will end the. I can't see who have voted, who have not. Okay. Thank you. All right. Let me share the poll result. This will be amongst those who are on my Zoom. All right, we have a tie there. So now let me show you the answer and explain the wrong option. Now, read again. All covenants that are capable of being passed to bind a successor. So this is one component. And then the other assertion is that then they are all land rights. So now is it true? So that's why I say it's very tricky. Now all those can be passed down to bind the next owner doesn't mean that they are land rights. For example, positive covenants are not automatically passed to bind a successor, but only when they fulfill the mutual benefit and burden principle. For example, you live in a house that is on private land. Now, of course, condo also private land. Okay, all the roads inside the condo is private land. So now I just want to talk about non-strata. This is not a condo. This is just one whole row of shops and houses, and then the road in front of the shops and houses are private land. I know this is very rare. We got almost 4,000 over condos. Condo more common because inside condo all the roads are private roads. So when you pay maintenance fees, so part of your maintenance fees will then go towards maintaining the road. But for this kind of private estate, say you have one whole estate of semi-D, all right. So the roads sometimes are private roads. The development company actually buy over the whole land. So then every month they will ask you to pay some money, some $10, a few $10. All right, okay. And after that, the next generation of owner, some of them may say that, why should I pay you? I don't even know you. But the developer will usually sue. When they sue, they sure win. Because why? Because this is called mutual benefit, mutual burden principle. You drive on the road, you pay for the maintenance. Okay, so now, but such a promise on land is not proprietary. It doesn't give the private road owner the land right. It doesn't give them the land right. I mean, yes, the road is theirs, but that's the rights to force them to pay for the maintenance is not the land right. But restrictive covenant will automatically bind you. It means that, okay, for example, your zoning is residential, then you cannot sell things there. So then whoever owns it, okay, will be bound because this is restrictive in nature. But positive, like for example, okay, I promise you to clean your side of the fence and all that, will not buy the next one unless cleaning the fence is so essential. So I think the more effective example will be using a private road, because everybody got to either walk on there or drive on there. So, okay, now I just discovered that my website, this part where you have the free practices, anyway, same questions, is not up yet. So give me another week, because I still got 3 short videos I haven't completed, because right now it's about our high key period. Now, so I will still want to have a 1-minute commercial for my e-revision package. Truth be told, it's not selling well. I do not know what is the reason. Maybe other people are selling cheaper stuff than me. But in terms of quality, I don't think I will lose to any of the providers. Now, so you can listen to the lectures again and again. And through this quiz show, you will know that I'm not taking this very lightly. So all the questions that I have put up on the quiz show, number one is that they have been carefully researched, and then it's deliberately couched in such trickiness and sophistication to prepare you for exam. And for the practitioners who are tuning in to the live stream, that will help you kind of like revise some of the basic concepts. So, okay, when you are practicing the trade, some of the questions, you one look, no, this one is a wrong statement and all that. But for those people who haven't really practiced the trade, all right, in person, so they are just understanding it at the intellectual level, it's a bit different. The level of understanding is very different. So the practicing agent, they have the experiential level already. Okay, so then coupled with the theory, they will always do better. So now, so before you actually go for your experiential learning, okay, and I think the e-revision is very beneficial for you, or at least you recommend it to your friends, or some of your friends are struggling with the exam. Okay, so now let's go to our multiple choice question. What is the doctrine of land ownership in Singapore? Doctrine means principle. So, okay, let me pull out the poll question. This one we covered in class before. Okay, somebody has said that this is a principle of tenure. Tenure means your relationship with land is called tenure. Okay, let me end the poll, show the result. So we have a tie there in our Zoom session. I don't know about the live stream. Okay, I mean, there are a few people also watching. I have a error in loading. What's wrong with that? Sorry, let me attend to my Facebook. So I redo the launch. So there are people watching halfway, and then okay. So now we are back on live. Okay, now let me explain. That is a principle of estate in land. What is the meaning of estate in land? Means a long period of interest. How long is long? Beyond 7 years. Beyond 7 years is long. So tenure is relationship with land. We don't have relationship with land. So because state owns the land, so we have a relationship with the state. So okay, this one go back to the very, very fundamental. So okay, now it means that the landowner has a long interest in land, including the bundle of rights over land and not the land itself. Land itself, we don't own. All right, the state owns the land. Individual landowners merely own the bundle of rights above the land. All right, I do apologize to those on Facebook because for some reason the thing just don't load. Okay, so now let's do our second question. A landowner owns the land and all the land rights and obligations that are attached to it. Okay, so this statement is true. All right, a landowner owns the land rights above the land. What do you call the land rights and obligations that are attached to land? What do you call them? There is a name there. There's a name there. Let me pull out the poll. And let's vote.
Do you call the limits and attached to the land? Call the land attached to the land.
All right, just end the poll. I show you the poll results. Okay, let me explain. It's called tenant. Now, do you remember dominant tenant and then servient tenant? And then you have this word tenant means all the rights that are attached to the land. All right, the bundle of rights is called tenant. So, okay. Now, so refers to the land and obligation, that rights and obligation. All right, I think I have a typo there. Refers to the rights and obligations that are attached to land. Now, tenure, I already say is relationship, but after a while, then in Singapore, tenure and estate, we use it interchangeably because estate is very serious. That means you become the owner. So sometimes when you look at the title search result, tenure, they put freehold estate. All right, so tenure refers to the mode of holding, our relationship with the land. But as we do not own the land itself, the state owns it, it connotes our relationship with the state. So hence, tenancy in common or joint tenancy. Say, for example, you are a freehold landowner. And then you may ask, I am the owner. Why do you call me tenant? Because why? You just own the rights above the land. You don't own the land. The state owns the land. So as far as the relationship with the state is concerned, the state is the lord. You are the state is the landlord. You are the tenant. So, but do not carry this argument too far, because to be politically correct, as long as you have an estate, you are the owner. Okay, just now, the escrow is something else. So, all right. Question 3. Equitable interests are enforceable against the world at large, except a category of interest. Except a category of interest. So let's vote.
Without notice of the rights. The property interest.
This is easy. This one is easy. Let me stop share and explain. Now, your equitable interest is enforceable against the state also, because sometimes the state is the owner, right? Now, a bona fide purchaser without notice of it. For example, when there is a negative easement restricting the neighbor's building height. So when the new owner who is without notice of the right, now this one, the lawyer will have to cock up, the lawyer cock up. And the lawyer never did the what you call that, requisition properly. All right, so then the neighbor, without notice of this restriction, commenced reconstruction. And by the time the owner of the dominant tenant was overseas, so by the time he came back, the neighbor's building is already completed. Then there's nothing the owner can do already, because why? The court cannot ask you to tear down. So this is this principle, a bona fide purchaser without notice of the right. So the rest are the same. As long as the equitable interests are consistent with land use policy, it will not concern the state. The state will not come in and enforce any rules. So third party interested in the land may be bound by the equitable interest. For example, the example that I just quoted, that will be like any private restrictive covenant. Okay, we have a scenario question here. Jack and Jill are next door neighbors of a pair of Sammy D. Now, Jack loves to invite his friends over for barbecue over the weekend, while Jill loves gardening. Over a period of time, the smoke from the barbecue caused the leaves of a tree Jill had planted very near to Jack's barbecue pit to turn bad. So now we want to ask questions already. What rights does Jill have as the landowner against Jack for causing damage to her tree? This one was a very old question. And then, of course, in the past, we hate this kind of question. But now we want to challenge that kind of question. Or I want to challenge you with that kind of question. So what kind of rights do you have when your neighbors barbecue smoke? Now, so in the same vein, along the same argument, after that, many questions later, in the early days, this is in 2011, 2012, in the early days, they start to change the smoke from barbecue smoke to burning in sandpaper, joss paper. Let's end the poll, share the results. Okay, so you can see 50-50 there. And let me explain. Let me show you the answer first. This is called tort of nuisance. Tort of nuisance, where one owner owe to another owner. This is under duty of care, right? So then, or sometimes it's tenant can owe to landlord, sometimes landlord owe to tenant. And so you can't stop people from not having barbecue, right? So, but then tort of nuisance is the textbook answer. How to enforce it? Let me tell you today, I believe totally you can't enforce it because you go to court, the court will ask you to go for community mediation. So mediation is one big topic in paper 2. Injunction is for more serious breaches, such as people breach your covenant, restrictive covenant. All right, okay, or husband and wife, some marital issue and all that. Then after that, one party want to sell, the other party don't want to sell, things like that. Okay, and then you get an injunction to stop a spouse from stopping you to sell. Sometimes it's to stop a spouse from selling pending, let's say, divorce papers and all that. So a restrictive covenant must touch and concern land in order to buy. So must be related to usage. So barbecue is not part of the land usage. Barbecue is just your leisure. So when we say land usage, we are talking about, is it residential usage? Is it commercial usage? This kind of usage. Unfortunately, MPark has got no jurisdiction over private lands. Number 5, what is the legal term to describe escalators in a shopping center? This is an easy question. Let's get it over and done with. Of course, in the exam, you love to have this kind of easy questions. Let's vote. Okay, thank you very much. I'll show you the. All right, so I think 100% correct. That's very good. It's called fixture. Just fixture. So okay, of course, the escalator is the integral part of the architecture design and serves the core function. So that's why it becomes part of the fixture. In the broader sense, corporeal hereditament is the correct answer. Okay, but corporeal hereditament actually cover much wider, such as your natural vegetation. You got trees, you got boulder, okay, but fixture is one of them. Fixture comes under corporeal hereditament, but once you put fixture and corporeal hereditament together, okay, and then hereditament cannot be the correct answer, unless of course in the exam they really try to be funny. They never put fixture there, and then corporeal hereditament will be the answer. Okay, movable does not mean, refers to motions. Okay, it refers to being removed from one place to another place. Escalators serve practical purposes. They are not merely accessories, like garden chairs and decorative items. All right, so now we have question number 6. Which of the following in a warehouse is or are removable? All right, removable. Straightforward question also. Once in a while, you will have this kind of straightforward question. In the category of fitting and fixture, so let's pick the.
What is the following warehouse is removable properties?
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, this one all correct. All correct. Once in a while, you have such easy questions. Question 5, question 6, basically both are questions on fixture and fitting. So you have more complicated one. So forklifts are essential equipment. However, it's not part of the architecture design. Now, so then, what about staging then? Staging, stacker, staging. Stacker is different. Stacker is like forklift. But what about staging? Sometimes staging is part of the fixture. It all depends. It all depends. It all depends. Sometimes it comes with it. So okay. So now let's move to 7. Now, 2 neighbors went to court to fight over an easement, and one party won. Definitely, when the easement is registered into the certificate of title, it becomes what? So this one will require you to have good memory already, to test you on the terms being used, the official terms being used. And this is a concept. Sorry, this is the conceptual term. This is a concept.
Indivisible, undivisible, indefeatable, divisible, indefeatable.
One more. Okay, thank you. Let's end the poll. Let's show. Wow, now we have like equal share or split. Now, so this one is really testing memory already. So once in a while, I got like 10-20% of the questions is testing your memory. So that's why I always say try to memorize when you don't understand, because you can't understand things that you don't remember, but you can remember things that you don't understand. So let me explain. Now, this has got to do with your title registration, the principle and the concepts behind title by registration. Now, once you register your interest, the common one will be like ownership. But do not forget, you also have easement, you also have restrictive covenant, you also have the bank's interest, CPF interest, and state's interest and all that. So the moment you can find those interests inside the title, they are all indefeasible. Means the state will say this is 100% accurate. All right. So if you disagree, you will have to sue the state, you know. So this is called indivisible title. So right now, all the title are on our SLA's mainframe already, all computerized already. So they are all indivisible. It's not the last time we still keep some record and all that. Okay, so you got to do title investigation and all that. Now 100% is computerized, so they are all indivisible. So indivisibility is a centerpiece of the Torrance system, which is the system of title by registration being practiced in most of the Commonwealth country, right? So when a property is sold through a valid contract, the contract does not confer the title. It is the registration that confers the title. So that's why you have this concept of equitable ownership and legal ownership. So before you register your name inside, you have the valid contract. The valid contract will only gives you an equitable ownership. So any interested parties can rely on the accuracy of the title information and need not search further. Now let's do our last question of the day. This is a statement. Price is a consideration for buying a property. Of course, it's true, money. So what is the consideration for a mortgage? So now let's pull out the poll question. Last question already. Today faster because fewer people. So the answer coming faster. Okay, so now let's show you the poll results. Again, y'all are all split, all split. So let me show you what is the consideration. The title is the consideration. Because who gives the money? The bank gives you the money. So then how do they buy? Is when you give them, when you surrender the title to them, so then the contract binds. So on your side, you surrender the title. So that is the consideration. What about gift? You give your property to me. So no money involved also. I don't have to pay for it. All right. The consideration is when I take the key. Possession. Possession is the consideration for a gift. Okay. So now you go to the bank to give a bank a mortgage. In return, the bank gives you a loan. So the mortgage contains a pledge of the property title. So it means that, you give your title to the bank. So that part is the consideration. And then after that, it's secured by a charge. Charge means the right to demand payment from you. So a charge, but the title is the true security. All right, not the charge. Okay, so now next week I will come also. Now rain or shine, I will still do the quiz show until such time I don't have to do I don't think so Okay, so because I will continue. Then next year, then we will refresh the question if I have time. So no time, then we will just repeat the questions. Okay, so now, if you have friends who are struggling with the exam, all right, so please promote my e-revision package to them. So if you pay $197, you will get all the 10 videos and more than 1,000 multiple choice questions. Now, people who actually bought the package, they actually feedback to me that, oh, these are quality stuffs. Because why? Because I don't share those in the quiz show. I don't share those MCQ in the quiz show. I don't share the MCQ in the course notes and in class also. So those are very sophisticated questions. So I hope you have been blessed by this quiz show. So I see you next week. Thank you very much. Thank you. And for those watching on live stream as well, thank you very much. Let's end the live stream.